Welcome, everybody, to the Raad Life, the only talk radio show that takes you along with host and age explorer Rod Gantos on his continuing journey of discovery into life's challenges, opportunities, options, and all the latest and greatest things that come with getting older. The Raad Life is brought to you this week by Your Home for a Lifetime, a company dedicated to empowering you to stay safely, independently, and comfortably in your own home. And now here is your host, Rad Gantos.
Good afternoon, everybody, from a rainy Orange County talk radio. It's not raining inside; it's raining outside, but it's still raining. And
that'd be difficult if it was raining.
Well, if it was raining, we'd be calling insurance company or the landlord or
getting
both.
French fried.
Yeah, but you know, it's rain around here is such a phenomena that we have to just acknowledge that it's raining. And we need water, we need rain, so it's all good. Without that, the things don't grow.
You know what's amazing to me, though, and I say this every time, the few times it rains like this, I came from the Midwest. We went through storms and hail and sleet.
Yeah, I know, and you walked in the snow, 2 miles to school every day, so backwards. I came
to California in the 80s and to get away from all that. And at first time it's rained, I went to wherever I was working. I said, "Where's everybody? It's raining." Yeah. Well, everybody calls in. Nobody comes in when it's raining. Through the years, you have appointments. They cancel. People were accidents. It's nuts. And I said, I've never understood, but it happens so rarely. Either people say, "I'm just going to stay home. I'll come back in another day. It'll be nice," or because the roads never get washed, they're covered in oil and craziness, and it's like you would think it's a major blizzard every time it is. So I've just learned to live with it.
So anybody who's interested in Paul Roberts' class in driving and weather and in inclement weather conditions, and I know a lot of you that were out there on the road today really could use it. Please give us a call. At what number can they reach you out to sign up for your class for driving in the rain?
We'll put it up shortly here.
Oh, okay, yeah. 1-800
Rain.
Drive slow.
Rain Man.
Okay.
We're like the Rain Man.
Slow. Yeah, it's really funny actually. It's been kind of like the topic of conversation because every time we have our very first rain, it's like, and everybody blames it on, it's because the roads are slick and they have oil on them and all this stuff. No, it's not. It's because people don't understand you got to slow your ass down when it's raining.
Yeah.
And actually pay attention a little bit more. Put the phone down.
And when you hit the brakes,
stop texting while you're driving in the rain.
And when you hit the brakes, you don't stop. So you just clam the brakes on, you just slide. That's what everybody's sliding.
What is that song? I'm going to date myself here. What's that song that starts off, I saw you and him?
Santa kissing
in the rain or something like that. No. It's not Santa kissing Santa Claus. It's not even Thanksgiving, dude. Do not bring out the Christmas music.
I'm with you.
No. And just for the record, Paul divulged to me before the show that he is basically about the original Scrooge bah humbug.
I'm anti-holidays.
Okay, so if anybody would like to call and
cheer him up,
cheer up Paul, or sing a Christmas carol to him or something, we'll allow that because God knows, if I have to deal with him between now and Christmas, in this attitude, it's going to be, I'm going to suffer.
Am I the only one though that thinks holidays just gotten too crazy, too confusing, too chaotic, too much pressure? I mean, the day is nice, but all the other stuff, I wish we could just wipe it.
What do you think, Art? Do you like the holidays?
We got to get them up to talk right up in the microphone here.
I think right now with the holidays...
Or if you want to lay back, just bring the microphone to you.
Yeah. I think with the holidays right now, I think we should just relax and smoke a cigar on our patio.
Oh!
That's why I like I get to smoke more cigars.
More cigars. Yeah, you know what? And it's cold. So, it's almost like, carrying a flask during the holidays is not the same as carrying a bottle of alcohol during the rest of the year. It's for medicinal purposes. Yeah. So, smoking a cigar, having a snifter with cognac, it's just a different flavor when it's colder, right? Get a little fire going, maybe. A little snow. I hear it's snowing in the local mountains, so, again, please be careful if you're on the road.
Right. I'm going to be heading that direction tomorrow.
Oh, you are? Where are you going up, Big Bear?
Up to East Berea.
Oh, okay.
And then we're gathering up some more family and going to Big Bear.
Oh, that's sweet.
Over there tomorrow.
Yeah, I might go up over the weekend.
You got a place up there?
Yeah, we got a cabin up there. Yeah, it's where I get to still play cowboy. It's like a log cabin.
Can I ask you?
And that is where, actually, that's exactly what I was talking about, is like when it's snowing outside, it's like, pour me a little warm something and give me a cigar and forget the fire roaring and just leave me the frick alone.
And I've never asked you this before, but you grew up overseas in Iraq and Kuwait and other places here. Does it snow in those places? Did you grow? I grew up 10 feet of snow every year in where I grew up in the Midwest, and I
You know what is that line that Chevy Chase used to say to Jane Curtin on Saturday Night Live? I'm not gonna say it, but you know what? Jane, you ignorant,
you ignorant slut. I don't know. Does it rain?
Paul, you ignorant.
Does it snow in Kuwait? I don't know.
I'm sorry. It's just I had a mic in front of me. I went back to Saturday Night Live.
You ignorant.
Okay. Paul, you ignorant slut. But no, it's a good question because a lot of people, unfortunately, don't friggin' open up. You know, it's called Google. People Google it, right? Okay, it used to be.
I'm too lazy.
You used to have to go to the library. You know, you used to have to walk in the rain and go to the library and like look it up and the index card and then find the reference book and all this stuff. Okay, it's called Google. But yes, good question. Let's start with a little bit of information. This show is brought to you by the question from Paul Roberts and the letter S for snow. Okay, get a little Sesame Street.
We're talking about the weather.
Little Sesame Street.
I don't know if you guys grew up in.
Yes, the answer is yes. Yes, there are not only does it snow in Iraq. I mean, it doesn't snow in Kuwait, but it does snow in Iraq. It snows in Iran, which is right across the border.
I had no idea.
Yeah, and
would you have thought we would think it's the Middle East doesn't snow?
Maybe up in the
mountains. Oh, man, dude, he's hanging out in Nicaragua, okay, smoking his cigars. What the heck, right? No, but it does snow because in fact there are mountains.
But I mean, I understand up in the mountains, but down in just in the big cities.
You didn't even know there was mountains in the
I did know there were mountains, but
okay.
In Iraq and Kuwait, I do know that. But does it?
Kuwait, there's no mountains.
Like in Baghdad, I mean, does it snow in the main cities? Does it snow in?
Does it snow in the main cities?
Yeah.
Yes, on occasion. In fact, the last few years, friends of mine that live in Jordan, it snows in Amman, in Jordan.
I would not know that.
Yeah. So it's really interesting because most people don't understand that part of the world also has topography that has that weather. In Lebanon, there are places to ski.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's not like we're talking Alps, but yes, it does snow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because the other thing I always heard, I grew up a good Irish Catholic, so they always say, well, the original Bethlehem in Palestine, Israel, whatever you want to call it, area.
Yeah.
Of course.
You had it right the first time.
Does it snow? I didn't think so. So we're always in the Midwest and in Western culture, we're used to this idea of Santa and snow and everything, which comes from Europe.
Yeah.
Didn't come from the original Middle East. But you're saying, does it snow in Bethlehem?
Yeah, because I mean, okay, it's an oddity. It's not like it's a yearly thing and people, have sandbags and salt to put on driveways and stuff like that. It's not that. But yeah, it does. And the other thing it does is there's also a lot of hail that comes down.
Absolutely, I believe that.
Yeah, hail comes down too.
Hail, yes.
Hell yes. Hell yes, it comes down. Now, people are listening to this going, what the heck does this have to do with
it? I'm wondering, how
the heck is this? Well, because if we don't have weather conditions such as rain, you don't have very lush tobacco leaves growing in places like Nicaragua.
That's right, yeah, absolutely. That's why I'm going to fly my nice look behind Tunicatao now.
And by the way, by the way, not everything during the winter season is not something to look forward to because at some point in the show, we're going to be talking about something that's happening in January.
Absolutely.
So that will be a festive holiday thing.
That's right. Yes.
Right? And it may and if it wasn't for places that are like, the East Coast or, places that Paul used to call home at one point, being all snowed in, and people having to wear 15 layers of clothes,
then
you would not be looking forward to getting on a plane and going to places like Nicaragua. In January. Okay,
so we're talking today about Nicaraguan cigars. Does it snow?
No, we're talking about Art Garcia. We're talking about him first because this man didn't just wake up one morning and say, "Hi,
cigars.
I'm 2 years old. I'm going into the cigar business." Okay, there's a background story. Okay,
I figured it's 12 generations or something.
Oh, man, I wish I was.
Okay, so why? First of all, Art Garcia. Art, thanks for being here.
Hey, my pleasure.
Okay, and the most recent entrepreneurial label is founder and president of
Antigua Esteli Cigars.
Okay, and what's the website?
AntiguaEsteli.com.
Spell it.
Yeah.
AntiguaEsteli.com.
I told you it was going to be a Sesame Street.
And
which, by the way, right now it's still under construction. We just have a banner page right now, but it's going to be up and going in the next couple of weeks.
Hand me the box for a minute.
And why Antigua, and what does the second word mean?
It's a beautiful word.
Yeah.
What does the second word mean?
So what's the word mean? What's the other word mean?
Esteli is the capital of tobacco of Nicaragua.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay. So, but his website may be under construction.
Yeah.
But his cigars are not.
Yes.
Okay. Those are very much packed. I've enjoyed a few of these myself, right? And You can find him on social media, right? He's on Facebook. You're on Facebook.
Yes, Facebook, Instagram.
Are you live feeding?
Yeah, I'm actually live right now, bro.
Hi, everybody.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So.
And how did you find him? I know you're a cigar connoisseur.
How did I find him?
I know you like cigars.
Well, I want to give a shout out to John Dade.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to our friend John.
Shout out for our friend John
He's
Dade,
been on the
who is
show, yeah.
He was on the show. Is your networking?
Yeah.
Okay, is the name of his book. Go buy it. It's actually available on Amazon.
It's actually a great book.
It's a great little book, right? When you see that,
It's a good marketing book.
Okay. When you see that book, Art, right?
Yeah.
You go, what the heck? This is like a little for dummies thing, right?
A little cartoon thing in the front, right? Yeah,
right. I'm like,
cool.
what the heck is this, right? But then you start reading it. It's actually pretty cool for a small book like that.
Yes.
There are books that are, twice this, three times the size, thicker, whatever, that don't have the nuggets of wisdom that he has coming from his own experience.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I thought it was a good book, too.
I think John Day is a great, smart man. He knows how to put people together.
Right.
And especially when we have a passion of tobacco. We're all brothers of the leaf. And I'm
Brothers
very,
of the
very
leaf,
grateful for him
wow.
for that.
Yeah, hashtag brothers.
And so you did mention that John does cigar mixers.
So he does. So John's thing is, and this is sort of where his book is. Just to recap, John at one point realized, okay, I want to network. I'm going to all these networking things I don't really have any interest of being at. And there's certain things that I'm interested in, certain things I enjoy. So why don't I just bring this stuff together and find other people that maybe enjoy it, and that's how he networks. So he instead of basically going to somebody else's networking event, he built his own platform.
Absolutely.
Right? And that platform now not only is in Orange County, which is where I met Art, was at the Center Club for one of John's events, but also he has one that is being done by or handled by my tailor Troy Russell, who Troy Russell, his company is Troy Anthony. He's doing them at the Kempton Inn in Beverly Hills.
Oh, wow.
John was always doing one. Also, somebody else is handling one for him down in San Diego, and they just started another one also in Simi Valley in Thousand Oaks.
Very cool.
So he's got about 4 locations that I know of that are basically
chapters.
4 chapters, right?
Yeah.
And they're all kind of doing their own thing, and it sort of all falls under that same formula. So I met Art at one a while ago. We've been trying to get Art on the show for a bit, and we got talking, and I did enjoy his cigars, and they're really good. And so I started talking to him, and it was really interesting, like the background, how he got into it, what he has kind of planned for it. Anybody who is a cigar aficionado or has been around for a little bit, when Art puts on his little hat, man, it's really funny. It's like oh yeah, this is what you're supposed to be doing, right? You look the part. But let's start from a little bit before cigars. What was Art Garcia doing?
Well, Art Garcia, I like to say myself.
Go as far back as you want, man.
Jack of all trades.
Okay.
So are you from
what trades were you a jack?
Are you from Nicaragua? Let's start there.
No, I was born and raised.
We got to
San
get
Diego.
you right up to the mic.
You can take it. You can bring it with you too.
Born and raised San Diego, California.
Okay.
So I'm a California.
So local boy.
I'm a local boy. Yes.
Okay. So
Yes.
so what did you do? Like how did you get into cigars to begin with? But what were you doing before? Because you were doing some cool stuff before.
Yes, and I'm actually a music producer. I'm still in the music business, and I do a lot of things with major record labels in the Latin industry. So
Right.
I work with a lot of the major music Latin artists. I also do a lot of the touring.
Mm-hmm.
I've been more focused now on our cigar company because I'm trying to take it off the ground. But for many, many years, over 20 years, I've been in the music industry.
How'd you get in the music industry?
Well, I started as a music artist.
Ah, okay. What did you play? Or did you say?
I do play. And so when I was growing up in high school, Norwalk, Glen, La Mirada area, I was in the Norwalk All City Band. And for many, many years, I was in the marching band.
Awesome.
And I love the marching band. I love traveling with the marching band and going all over the places. But
What instrument?
I'm a trumpet, baritone, and trumpet and baritone lead players.
That's awesome, dude.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so then I also know how to play French
A
horn.
little dizzy going on.
And I started playing the piano a lot, so I could play the piano very well.
Wow,
Alright.
cool. So that's awesome. And then
Next time you have to bring your French
and-
horn.
and
That's
so-
so fun.
That's right. I don't have one anymore, but
I think we can score you one probably. But so you went in from that being in school, something that's sort of a passion pursuit, really.
passion.
Right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. And then you pursued that as a career.
Yeah. So at the age of 16, I kind of switched my music around a little bit, but I was still in the marching. I played a lot of classical music and then a lot of Latin jazz music.
Oh, very cool.
But at the age of 16, I started getting into the cool thing in my era, which was hip hop. And so then I said, wait a minute, we could do hip hop in Spanish. And so then I started writing a lot of lyrics. I read a lot of books, so
Yeah.
I was putting together a lot of songs. So by the age of 17, I recorded my first professional recording song
You did.
In Latin hip hop.
in Latin hip hop.
Yeah.
what
that's
what
pretty
label?
good,
Were you
dude.
on an independent label or a big
No,
label?
I was first independent, then I got signed to a major.
Okay.
Then I got signed to a major, and I had a couple of hits actually.
Can we go look you up online or on
you
YouTube?
could look. You could look. I mean, some of my music's already disappeared out of. I took it off
Oh, you took
because
it off?
I ended up owning all my rights over my music.
Oh, okay.
And what this was Latin jazz? This was
No.
hip hop.
Latin hip hop. Yeah.
Latin hip hop.
Latin
Kind of
hip-hop.
like reggaeton music.
Yeah.
Urban music in Spanish.
Yeah.
Right. So
Who's the guy from Puerto Rico that's so big?
Oh, there's a lot of guys in Puerto Rico big now.
no, but what's the one guy everybody sees?
One of the biggest guys that's out there that I had the privilege to meet and perform several times with, Daddy Yankee,
Yeah, that's the.
Don Omar, Wisin Yandel, all those guys. So, I got to follow their career when they first started.
So how long did you do that for, Art?
Well, I did that since I was 17.
Okay, and when did you stop doing it?
I stopped performing in 2011.
Oh, so that's a long career, man.
So
That's
it's
a
a
great
long
career.
career. So then right after that, I went to school for 1 year for music business.
Okay.
And then learned the music
Trying to
business.
kind of switch from the performing side
to the independent side.
Independent side, yeah.
Right, so I became a music executive.
Yeah.
And so that's how everything started. But I never stopped smoking cigars.
So when do you remember when the first time you smoked a cigar?
I was 15.
Okay.
I was 15, and
Did your dad smoke? Did friends smoke? Or a
my
relative
grandfather.
Smoke? Your grandfather.
My grandfather.
So there
yeah,
was a connection, like you have an association
correct.
with the smell and that sort just
Oh, that
that
good
whole
old stuff.
social stuff,
I'm
right?
going to show you guys a picture of me when my first album came out.
Yeah, let's
My
see.
first song came out.
So that was at the age of 16.
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, 17.
17,
Right
18.
about 17, 18,
Yeah.
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 So I'm coming out with my cigar, smoking a cigar.
Yeah.
At 17.
That's a real OG, man. He's got a cigar in his
Really?
hand at the age
Well,
of
my first
17.
cigar I smoked when I was 15.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a story. to
Not
that.
many- not many
what's the
people are
sto-
smoking
okay,
cigars
hold,
at
hold on.
15.
What's the story behind the cigar at 15?
Well,
Because I think you beat me by
Yeah.
probably 1 year.
Oh, my goodness. I didn't know anybody smoking cigars at 15 or
Yeah.
16.
yeah. Well, I mean, I didn't smoke 2-3 cigars every day.
No, of
but-
course not.
Yeah.
I knew people smoking other things at 15, 16.
Yeah,
but I
that's
didn't
your
know.
Midwest thing.
You know, I never got into that actually. And even though I was in a lot of music studios and stuff like that, everybody smoking weed, it never hit my attention.
Do you ever try it?
I tried it once,
And what
didn't
did you
like
think?
it. I hated the smell.
It wasn't really anything,
It
right?
wasn't into me. No,
That's
no.
exactly what happened with me.
Yes, it's
Like I'll do hookah, I'll do cigars,
Yeah,
an occasional pipe maybe, but cigarettes never appealed to me, and definitely like joints and didn't appeal to me. I actually don't mind the cannabis now as an edible, but
I don't mind CBD now.
Yeah.
I take a couple drops whenever I feel some pain in my body, and it takes care of the problem.
So what's the story for cigars at 15?
Well, I was expecting a gift from Grandpa,
Okay.
and Grandpa said, "Hey, son, I have a gift for you."
Oh, you were expecting a gift, just a gift.
I was expecting
Yeah.
something bigger than a cigar.
What were you expecting?
A small little car.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, 'cause he gave one to my cousin. I said, "Well, you hook me up." Man.
Okay.
But anyway, I'll make the story short. He said, "Today I'm going to make you a man." Set me down and told me the whole family background from his father to his father's father.
Wow.
And
Wow.
he handed me
That
over
rare.
a cigar, and it was actually a very old cigar. It was a cigar that it was made out of Arturo Fuentes cigars, but it was made in Tampa with Cuban tobacco from Cuba. Yeah, that was his grandfather, Carlitos Fuentes' grandfather made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you sat down, and your grandfather basically filled you in on the background and family.
And fill me in the tobacco background.
And
the cigar background.
And where were they-
Was your grandfather smoking a cigar at the time?
At the same time.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And where were they from originally? Your grandfather, where did they come over from? Where did they come from?
It's a,
Nicaragua or Cuba or
No,
Mexico?
No. Well, my great grandfather comes from Cuba.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. So there's
And
some
then
heritage
they
there.
flew into Puerto Rico, and then in Puerto Rico, grandfather came for the military here to San Diego, and then went
Okay.
to met my grandmother in Mexico, and that's where my family.
So that's how you ended up in San Diego.
That's where my generation was born.
Got it.
Yeah.
So okay, so let's just roll forward. So there's definitely a connection. And I totally get that from my own personal perspective. Like there's a connection where you have family members that are smoking cigars. There's a continuity, kind of like, when you're smoking, there's a connection with that past, your family history kind of thing, right?
Yes.
So okay, so move forward to now. Okay, you did 1 year of music business degree. You're around. You've been smoking cigars all this time, right? So what happened?
So I got known in the music. I got known in the music industry as the cigar guy because everywhere I go,
You had cigars,
of course, after I was 18 years old.
Yeah.
Legally. So after that, everybody knew all the music executives, the presidents of Universal Music Latin. I mean, all the hot executives in the music industry. They knew I was a cigar guy. So every time we had a major event or something like that, they was like, Art, do you have any cigars? I said, I do.
Yeah, so you're collecting cigars. You're again pursuing sort of a passion, like with the
Right.
music, and then these guys are like, "Hey, Art's got some good stuff.
Right.
He'll hook
Absolutely.
us up." Got it.
And then, fortunately, my grandfather passed away when I was very young. So right after he gave me my cigar, he passed away.
Oh,
Yeah. So
well, I'm glad you had that opportunity.
I had that opportunity. I was grateful for that.
Yeah.
I had a lot of great conversations with him. God bless his soul. And so I learned a lot from him. So
Did he make cigars or anything?
No, he didn't make cigars.
What did your grandfather do?
He was retired at that time, but
In his life.
I mean,
what
he
was
said he
it?
was
we do have tobacco background in our family, so
That's what I'm
that
trying to
helped
hear.
us a lot.
Okay, so
They're growers, actually, more tobacco growers than makers.
whereabouts? In
Well,
Cuba?
according to history, and I mean, I can't prove it because I wasn't there,
yeah.
but they said that my grandfather used to grow tobacco in Cuba, and then he went to grow tobacco with my grandfather in Puerto Rico.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so that's as far as I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you got music executives basically asking you to bring stuff over, or people you're going to hanging out,
friends
with,
hanging out.
and you're like, okay, yeah, I got some stuff.
Yeah.
Then how does that turn into a business? Or what was it, just like a natural thing? The next step
So
was
right after that stuff, I started doing financial services for a little bit,
okay.
and then I got very good at it. I was an executive for World Financial Group, and then I got to see a lot of players grow.
Okay.
I mean, they went from being broke to being millionaires,
Yeah.
and that a business, and so I was right behind them, and so then I said I got bored. I said, you know what, I'm gonna start a cigar company, see where that goes.
When was this, Art?
Oh man, when I decided to make a decision was 2012.
Oh, it's not that long ago.
Yeah, it was almost a year later after I quit performing.
Okay.
And I still make money performing.
Yeah.
I mean, I still get royalties in my music.
Yeah.
And so, which is pretty cool, It pays,
of course
pays
it
the
is.
bills.
Yeah.
Right.
And why Nicaraguan cigars? You're not from Nicaragua. You don't have family there. Why you had a background in cigars? It ran through your family
Right.
history.
You decide to start a cigar company.
Right.
What?
So, because
I have no idea how it would go.
So
about doing that.
I've been a smoker, since I was 15. So I probably smoke a cigar a month. I'll steal some from my grandfather's humidor, or I'll ask older friends to give me one and just try it. So I started developing a palate,
Okay.
which is very important for cigar smokers.
Okay.
And
And the
then-
stout, because they come in different. Ooh, there we go. There's some of your music graphic. And they come in the big, giant, fat stogies, the Churchill ones, and there's different sizes and shapes and everything
Yeah.
too.
Hold on, let me put this in video.
So what do you do as a person who wants to start a cigar company? What's the first thing you do? I mean, you've never had a cigar company before,
Right.
so you have business sense.
So
but,
I have no idea. I have business sense,
Yeah.
of course, from school and college.
yeah.
But I have no idea how to run a cigar
So how the
company.
heck do you go about setting up a cigar
I
company?
just threw myself in the fire. I said, might as well just make it happen. I said, I just got to roll the dice.
I mean, it's quite a difference. It's quite a difference from taking a cigar out of a humidor and smoking it,
Right.
and then basically getting into the fact that you're going to be making this stuff. Like, I wouldn't know where to go for even information. Like, how did you start?
Well, so when I was sure that I wanted to start a cigar company,
Okay.
right, I said, I got to look for where the best tobacco is from.
Okay.
So at that time, I'm already smoking a lot of Nicaraguan tobacco, a lot of Nicaraguan cigars.
And is that a big play?
Yeah.
I know very little about cigars. We all know they come from Cuba. I don't know where else they grow it.
Well, I'll tell you, the best cigars are from Nicaragua.
Okay. And why? Because everybody says Cuba.
Or take a minute. Like,
Yeah.
there's certain areas
So
that.
we got to go back to certain
Yeah,
areas, yeah.
yeah.
And so before I answer your question, Paul, Nicaragua. So I decided to pick Nicaragua because I've been smoking so many Nicaraguan tobaccos, and I just fall in love with the tobacco.
Something that you know.
Something that I know. So I also tried a lot of Dominican cigars, and I wasn't too intrigued by them or the tobacco from Dominican Republic, even though they're good tobacco, good cigars out there.
Do
right?
what you know is not a bad idea.
Right. And then I tried also, let's say, I'm going to go somewhere to another country. We went Costa Rica.
Yeah.
I wasn't satisfied with Costa Rican tobacco, so Nicaragua was my best shot. So I started flying out there.
Okay.
I flew out there. I remember my first time was back in, close to 10 years ago.
Okay.
And so I went to Esteli. I have friends over there from here, and they have family out there.
And Esteli is a growth area, like a growing area for tobacco leaves, right?
Esteli is where they grow tobacco. It's actually where 90% of all the factories are from.
And the reason why it's a good place for tobacco is because
the humidity. Before we get to all that, right?
Yeah.
The humidity is just perfect in that side of town.
Yeah.
It's elevated. You got to understand, Nicaragua, it's 100 degrees, 365 days a year.
Wow, it's that warm.
Even if it rains, it's still hot.
Yeah.
It's very mountainous. Some parts of it are very mountainous, right?
Right. When you go up in the mountains, like when you go up to Esteli or Jalapa, then you go on a higher level. And so that's why also there's a lot of great coffee in that side of town.
Right.
I know they grow coffee.
So those are conditions that are really good for tobacco.
Exactly.
And coffee, yeah.
But I tell you guys what makes the best tobacco in Nicaragua, it's the soil. It comes from volcanic soil.
Yeah.
Because we have active volcanoes in Nicaragua.
Yes, right.
Who every day they throw fumes. So all the soil that comes around
There's
that land,
a lot of nutrition and a lot of
minerals,
and
so all that stuff makes our tobacco the best. And that's the reason why some of the best regions in Nicaragua grows the best tobacco.
So why do we, just to stop you for a second, why do we as a culture think the best is Cuban? Because there are no mountains. There are mountains in Cuba.
Because they're illegal.
Because what you can't get is what you want.
That's right. It's like back in the 1920s. You need to buy booze.
Yeah.
You go to Canada, you bring it to the U.S. Oh, my God, it was the best.
That's right. My dad still liked Canadian Club till the day he died, which was not the best.
Right, because
Scotch,
you now have a nostalgic connection with the fact that it's a rare commodity.
Right.
I can't get it. I'm going to try to get it. It's like it speaks to your rebel inside.
Yes,
that you,
absolutely.
Makes sense, right?
And I got to give it. In Cuba, we have a friend who I could actually call a friend now, and his name is Hiroshi Rovina. Okay. And Hiroshi Rovina is the grandson to Alejandro Rovina, which we're talking about Rovina cigars, right? And he grows tobacco, and he's still growing tobacco to maintain the Rovina cigars in Cuba, right? But even though they're purchased and they're owned by the government out there, he still grows for them, right?
To keep the name.
According to my knowledge, and please correct me if I'm wrong.
How would we know?
Well, the people listening to us. His land is the only land that got respected by Castro. And so
Castro loves cigars, yeah.
And so because Robina used to make Castro's Churchill's. Right.
Churchill's the big giant one, right?
Giant cigar, correct. Absolutely. And so
like Winston Churchill smoked.
So he launched. I remember I met Hiroshi in 2016. I met him, or 15, at one of the tobacco trade shows here in Las Vegas, and 15 was in New Orleans. And I started following him. I said, "Hey, brother, I follow you. Everything. I want to learn from you." And so, a lot of people, friends of mine from Cuba, they tell me that the Cuban cigars, are not the same anymore. I think I know why. Now that I make cigars and I get my hands dirty, I know how to make and fabricate a tobacco or a cigar. I know how to blend a cigar.
I by the way, I agree with you on that assessment, because I travel, and internationally it's not a problem to get Cuban cigars. And I grew up where, with my dad, that's what they smoked. I mean, it was either Romeo and Julietas or Monte Cristos or Punch, right? And those were his favorites. Romeos were his favorite. They're actually my favorite when I can get them. But I will tell you, the stuff that I smoked from the earlier stocks when I was growing up, and what I actually smoke now when I'm traveling, it is not the same.
It's not the same. And
why is that, Art?
It's sad to say. Well, everybody has their own opinion. So
I know. I want your
opinion,
of course. I'm asking you.
But my opinion is they're treating that business like a McDonald's business. They're flipping cheeseburgers as fast as they can from the production side, put it in, and send it out to sell.
Quality
is just. Yeah. That's one of the reasons why a lot of these Cuban cigars, they come out with the bad draws, and
And can I ask you one other question? Because again, I don't smoke cigars. I didn't grow up with anybody. I didn't know anybody that grew cigars, but I respect that it's like Scotch, like wine, whatever. It's
Absolutely.
an acquired art.
Definitely an
It's
acquired taste, yeah.
Having said that, one of the things I heard a long time ago is it's not just the quality of the leaf that gives it the flavor, but it's the quality of the guy wrapping it. Like you're saying, you get a different draw.
So let's talk
burns
about that,
different.
Art.
Yeah.
Let's talk about what makes a good cigar.
Oh, wow.
Am I correct in that?
I mean,
It's
obviously,
the art
there's
of rolling
different
it?
sizes, there's different combinations of leaf and filler. But what is
Right.
what? I mean, you started off with the company. You went to Nicaragua.
Yes.
I'm assuming you exposed yourself to the.
Hopefully, he didn't expose himself in Nicaragua. He wouldn't come back.
There
right?
may be pictures somewhere, but you basically immersed yourself is a better word. Immerse yourself in the industry. You learned from people. I'm sure people were kind of you found people that were willing and open and sharing knowledge
Absolutely.
with you, right? And that makes for a great experience as well, right?
Right.
So then you took a first step towards actually doing what? Like buying somebody else's
You want the
tobacco?
step-by-step of-
No, I do.
No, I actually got my hands dirty.
Okay.
I started working. I went to Esteli and I threw on some boots, some jeans, and a dirty shirt, and I went in the fields. I wanted to learn the process step by step.
I know this. That's why I'm dragging it out of him.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then once I did
And
that,
what do you have to do? I don't even know what it looks like. Is it a bush?
Well,
is it a?
we're talking about tobacco fields.
Tobacco leaves are large leaves.
Are they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I'll show you pictures now.
Yeah.
And then we got something called a pre-industria, where after we take the tobacco out of the farm,
Yeah.
and then we take it to this pre-industria where we're going to be aging the tobacco,
dry
fermenting
it
the
and
tobacco,
whatever.
drying the tobacco,
Yep.
making sure that we get it ready to take it to pilones. Then once that's done, then we storage it so that we can age. And so,
And how long does tobacco age?
Well, it's a process. You could age it 5, 6, 7, 10 years.
10 years, you're going to let the
more.
leaf dry just so to get some flavor or something?
Well, of course, it has to be under temperature and
Right, control.
humidity control, right? But yes, you could age tobacco that long.
And it changes the flavor of it?
A little bit. It changes. We call it fortaleza, which is strength.
Yeah.
It may change a little bit because
Make
it's
mild, make it more mild.
more mild.
Right.
Yes, exactly.
And so
So that's how I learned.
Okay.
And then I was fortunate enough that people in Nicaragua took me in, and people who have 40, 50 years of knowledge in tobacco, and they taught me.
Did they teach you nice, or were they to treat you like you're a Yankee American, going to come in and steal this from us, and we're not going to tell you, it's our secret?
Oh, man, no. I was treated like family. People in Nicaragua, they're very nice. They're the nicest people I ever met, and I respect them a lot. That's why.
Because even though you're Hispanic, you're still an American, so you're coming
Yes.
down there to take their knowledge that this is their skill. This is generations of doing this. Yeah.
Yep. I'm an American, but I'm still a Latin American. You know what I'm saying? So over there, I always tell them I'm Nicaraguan by heart.
by heart, yeah.
heart.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So with that, they give me all the
So
respect.
how long did you spend time down there just kind of
I used to spend a lot of time out there. I would go 2 months at a time. I'll probably travel 4 or 5 times a year. In the beginning of the years, I remember. And then
What was the first step that you did as a business decision relevant to your own company?
well, the first step was to find the name.
Okay.
And it had to be a very catchy name. It had to be something that has a lot of feeling, and it has great meaning.
Oh,
Okay.
here comes the songwriter and
Oh.
musician, right?
And what is that?
Exactly,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Because
yeah.
I come from making music.
Yeah.
And when we used to make a
You're
song,
investing in emotion.
and I'm investing in emotion. So the chorus was very important. So I said, I got to make something that's going to be something super important that is going to be able to catch.
By the way, beautiful box.
Thank you,
And
brother.
hold it up to the other
Because
camera
that's
up here,
another
too.
thing that I noticed
Right there.
with like this is more. I look at that and I have sort of a nostalgic old school feel from that box.
Very much so,
There's a lot of boxes out there now that are basically almost like printed cardboard. It doesn't have the depth or the embossing, that quality of that box. I mean, it used to be that now the emphasis is, oh, how nice is your humidor,
Right.
right?
Yeah,
But
right.
back in the day, I mean, the box itself was something that was joyful to have, and that's
Right,
why some of the
absolutely.
older boxes are collectors and people want to have them. They turn them into purses, all kinds of shit, right?
Yeah.
So why Antigua Esteli?
Well,
Esteli we get. It's an
I tell you
it's
guys,
the area, right?
I'm going to tell you guys straight bottom line.
Bottom line, what's the bottom line, Art?
I wanted to create a name that is always going to be remembered by the people, to represent the people, to represent the workers that make the cigars. So I wanted to make something that will honor their name
Okay.
or their lifestyle, their people.
Okay.
So I call it Antigua Esteli, and Antigua Esteli for different reasons. 3 reasons. Number one,
I only know Antigua is an island in the Caribbean. That's all
there's
I know.
one island in the Caribbean, but then also Guatemala has a little town called Antigua, which is right next to the volcano as well.
Okay.
So my stepfather is from Antigua, Guatemala, and so that's another reason why.
So the connection of the first cigar
Yes.
with the first name and the
Well,
name
no,
company.
well, that was my
Father-in-law,
real
yeah.
father.
Oh, okay.
Stepfather, right.
No, but my stepfather.
Oh,
my mom remarried.
but there's still a family connection, right?
Yeah, he raised
Yeah.
me. He's still my
Yeah,
second father.
I get it. Yeah.
So that's one connection because he used to take me to Antigua, Guatemala all the time. So that was one of the reasons also. But the main reason was
The Antigua he was from.
right, Antigua, yes.
Yeah.
So one of the main reasons when you go up north from Esteli and you're going towards Jalapa, Jalapa is one of the regions of tobacco that we grow tobacco in.
Yeah.
And so there's a little town called Antigua, Nueva Segovias,
Okay.
right? And so that was one that caught my attention. I said, wow.
And what does that mean in English? Antigua de los...
Antigua means ancient.
Makes sense. Antique, Antigua. Okay.
ancient.
And de los Segovias? What does...
Segovia, it could be in a lot of things. Segovia, it's a country in Spain.
Yeah.
Right, and also I have my ancestors there also.
Spanish.
Spaniard. Yeah, so
Spaniard.
I have Spaniard and French background, and so
So the word Antigua was kept coming up.
it kept
and
coming
kept
up.
Coming up.
Kept
Yeah,
coming up.
Yeah.
So then I said, okay, so Antigua, and I got to represent the people of Nicaragua, Esteli,
Esteli because of the area.
because of the area, because we make it, we grow the best tobacco as well. And so I put them together, and it's called Antigua Esteli.
Well, so what's up with the diamond, dude?
boom, the diamond.
It
Oh,
was just a little extra bling on top of
El
it?
No.
Diamante de
Las Segovias.
Las
El
Segovias.
Diamante de las Segovias. It's a slogan for Esteli.
Ah,
And El Diamante de las Segovias pretty much means diamonds coming out of the soil
yeah.
because the tobacco is so rich, so glorious.
Awesome.
That's what that means.
Awesome. Okay.
Wow.
And that's the reason we put the
That-
diamond on top of our logo.
That's awesome. That
Yes.
really is cool. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem,
Yeah,
brother.
thank you for sharing that. That's
Now,
a
once
very
you
good story.
figured it out, now you got to finance this thing. You got to buy it in bulk and bring it back, and somebody's got to wrap it and roll it and put it in a box.
So I was fortunate enough to connect with a great cigar company in Nicaragua that has helped me and blessed me a lot. The name of the company is called Raad Cigars, and I was fortunate to meet them through a good friend of mine, also my broker in Europe. His name is Fernando Navarro. He's a very good friend of mine, and also one of the best brokers I ever met. So
you mean like a stockbroker?
No, a cigar broker.
Cigar broker.
Oh, cigar broker.
He
Okay.
is the reason why we are blowing up in Europe right now, in Germany and Sweden.
You have not been in Europe that long, right?
Yeah, I was just there in September.
No. I mean, as far as Antigua Esteli.
No,
Sales,
we
right.
just barely got started in September.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did our first tobacco trade show in Dortmund. It's called the Intertabac in Germany, and
That's a good spot
it was my first experience there, and so now our
How many
cigars-
cigar companies you fighting with? Is it like scotches and tequilas where there's lots of little tiny boutique companies making this stuff, or are there just a couple of big giants?
There's
So many.
There's a million cigars out there right now, but what makes the difference is the personality of the people. Not only that, but the cigar and how we present it.
Well, I find also it's always been historically and still is that it's always about that authenticity,
Absolutely.
especially when stuff like this. I mean, it's the same thing as with like small production bourbon or Scotch.
Small batch, right.
Yeah, there's always small batch. There's always sort of that. If once you get to the point where your palate, like Art, where you were saying that you
Yeah.
develop that taste at the palate. Once you do that, then you end up in a situation where you are now very picky
Yes.
on what you basically engage with. And then also, I am spending money on something, and if it is a authentic product, then I feel even better
Exactly.
enjoying it.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
And it stands, the product is one thing, but what stands behind the product is equally important when it comes to stuff like this.
And are these pricey or mid-priced or extremely priced?
So
What
our
are they?
cigars are considered premium cigars. So what premium means that it's a very good quality tobacco. And so, for example, in tobacco, we grade our tobacco in different ways. Tobacco, we have tobacco grade A, grade B, grade C, and grade D, right? So if you want to make a premium cigar, you only put grade A and B.
What makes for the different grades?
It is the quality of tobacco. If it's rib, if it's not too too dry, if it's not big or small. You know, if it looks really beat up, if it looks nice. The
So
leaf
can you
is-
go out to a batch and smell it and touch it and feel
Absolutely.
it and say, oh, that's the
That's
good
what we
stuff,
do.
right?
So when I'm going to go ahead and test tobacco that I want to purchase, you know, I want to add into my cigars, or I want to make a blend, we grab tobacco out of the batch. We call it pilones. So we open the pilones, and then we grab tobacco. We roll like a little cigar there, and we spark it, and we taste the tobacco. Now let me tell you guys, how do we taste the tobacco? We don't smoke it. We run it through our nose.
What?
It's called retro smoke, right? And so that's when you run it through your nose. This is the way how
You like
really,
breathing it in or something?
No. You just gotta when you breathe it in through your mouth, you let it go. You release
Like a
it
cigarette.
through your nose, like a cigarette, right? This is how we determine how spicy the tobacco is, how if the aroma of the tobacco is really good, how tasty the tobacco is, right? And that's the only way to do it. Otherwise,
Because doing it through your mouth on its own is not going to give you that.
you'll
the
get a
aroma.
taste,
That
you'll
you're
get
not
an
gonna get
aroma,
yeah.
but you will not taste the real spice of the cigar.
Interesting.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Because I picture when I've seen people smoke cigars, they don't inhale them into their lungs like they do a cigarette.
Oh no.
They just, I thought it was just in your mouth that you get the flavor, the taste of it. I didn't know it comes through your nose at all. I've never smoked anything.
No,
like
and,
that in
and
my
usually,
life,
usually when you smoke a cigar, you do not take it through your nose.
right.
You know, I mean,
I didn't think
right.
so. Right.
but that's interesting because your taste buds in your mouth will only give you so much information.
Absolutely.
But then the smell and a lot of that intensity is yeah. So how often do you actually do the selection process for leaves or for tobacco?
You go out once a year and buy
Is it
this
once a year?
month.
Is it like wine where it's like a harvest thing? I mean, what's
right.
the
No. What we do is
because I mean this stuff is aging, right?
yes.
It's been sitting there and it's aging, and so it's not necessary that it's seasonal. Like it's not, stuff is out there. How often is it just based on when you need it? Is it a regular thing you do once, twice a year? What do you do, Art?
So
When do you do the selection?
how do we select the tobacco?
Yeah,
what you're
and
asking, right?
what drives you for that? Yeah, I mean,
It all depends how I want to make a blend. Let's talk about Segovias,
yeah,
right? This was our first blend that we came out with, and this Segovias, I wanted to represent two things: my background
yeah,
and the tobacco where it comes from,
okay,
right? And so if you guys see on the design,
yeah,
this design is very special. On my design here, as you guys can see, I have the American,
Try and pick it up with all our cameras here.
the American flag. It's right over here,
yeah.
and the Nicaraguan flag. It's right over here.
I see it.
Right?
Yeah,
On the coins also have a very special meaning,
okay,
right? We have the Cuban coins because the seeds are Cuban, right? We have Spaniard coins because of my family background.
Spaniard. Yeah,
We also have French coins because of my family background.
Yeah.
We also have the Indian, the American Indian, or the chief,
Yeah.
because it's tobacco. It represents tobacco.
Yeah.
And we have the Nicaraguan triangle, right, because it's Nicaraguan as well.
got it.
And so everything has a meaning. So I wanted to pick something that is really special.
Is that where the first indigenous people smoked tobacco?
They're the ones who discovered tobacco.
And because when Columbus and all those who followed came to the New World, they discovered people doing this and they took it back to Europe.
Yes, but tobacco's been around before Columbus, and even before Columbus,
Right.
when the first explorer found San Salvador. And so there's a story that I talk about it, but quick background on that. When, for example, when a tribe was going to marry another tribe from either American chiefs or here in America or in Central America or the Aztecs or the Mayans, right? When there was going to be a marriage, they would give tobacco to the gods, their gods, whatever gods they were loving at that time, or they would give tobacco to the bride's family as an honor, as a gift. And so tobacco has always been something very special to them.
Smoking the peace pipe.
Exactly, absolutely, right? So going back to Segovias, right?
Yeah.
So the tobacco that we picked for this one, I said, okay, I want to make two types of cigars. I want to make a Maduro, and I want to make an Habano Oscuro.
And for those who don't understand what that is, what is
Okay.
a Maduro?
A Maduro it's a cigar with more strength. It's more stronger. It has a lot of more taste, and it has a lot more spices. Right, that's a Maduro. An Habano Oscuro, or an Habano, it's a lighter cigar, which has a more clear wrapper. It's not a darker wrapper.
There's
Right?
a slight color variation
It's a slight
between
color
the two.
variation, right? And the tobacco is not too. It doesn't have too much strength, but it has enough to get you going.
Right.
And what do they wrap a cigar with? That's a good question. You say the wrapper. It's not tobacco, or is it a different
It's
type?
tobacco
It is,
wrapper,
but
yes.
there's components of the cigar.
There's different components,
Yeah.
absolutely. And so for example, on this one, I wanted to represent my Mexican heritage on this cigar as well. So what I did is I'm a big fan of the San Andres wrapper.
Okay.
And so we went out there and got some San Andres wrapper, and we put it as the last component for our Nicaraguan
Where does that
tobacco.
come from? Is that from Mexico?
From Mexico. It comes from San Andres, Tuxtla San Andres tobacco,
Okay.
which
And that's the outside wrapper.
the outside wrapper.
Okay.
The wrapper is the last component of the cigar.
Yep.
Right? And then, of course, the cigars, the tobacco inside, which we call it the bonche. It's un bonche, right?
Yeah.
It has the 4 regions of Nicaragua of tobacco. So, for
that's
example,
nice.
if we grow tobacco in Omestepe Island, and we grow tobacco in Esteli, in Jalapa, in Condega, in my cigars, you're going to find a little bit of everything.
Right. So the bunch inside is the 4 areas,
It's 4 areas of
and
Nicaragua.
then the outside wrapper.
And
is
what's the
San
filler?
Andres.
Do they put other stuff in just to make it burn? Or?
No, we put only leaves of tobacco.
That's it.
So what makes it a premium is when you put the full leaf of tobacco. When you don't put the full leaf
It's the
of
grinded.
tobacco, and when it's just grinded,
Yeah.
then it's not a full premium tobacco. We call it a picadura, or we call it a...
And if you are a cigar smoker, it's a totally different experience.
Absolutely.
Well, if it's a grinded filler or if it's a leaf filler, everything from the draw to the continuity to the ash
To the
it's
flavor,
just-
to-
yeah, it's a totally different. Well, the flavor, like you're saying, you're combining the 4 leaves in there,
Right.
so that's almost like taking 4 ingredients and putting them in a
But
recipe.
grinding it's different than rolling it the whole leaf or something.
Yeah, because it's just the burn and the draw, for me at least, the
Right.
burn and the draw and the taste is totally different.
Yeah, absolutely.
Totally different.
But it would
And-
seem
and
like it'd be cheaper than to just
Yeah,
chop
you
up
could
and
take
roll
you
it.
could take a similar cigar from a company, let's say, that does both ways, and you
Right.
could try them, and it is totally different experience.
And give me a price range. What's a ground up filler and what's a premium filler cost per cigar? What am I looking at? $5, $10, $20? I don't know. What's
Well, for
I have no idea what a
for
cigar
a premium
goes.
cigar, like for example this cigar here, this was a 5.5 by 52 Robusto San Andres Wrappers Maduro, and you can find this cigar at High Times here in Orange County in Costa Mesa. I believe they have it for $8.99.
Right.
Okay.
Or you can find it here at Tinderbox in South Coast Plaza, actually right across the street.
Right across the street.
Right, inside the store, or you can find it at Vintage Cigars in the other side in Santa Ana, or you can find it at OC Cigars here off the 55 freeway.
Yep.
And so they'll go anywhere between $7.99 to $8.99, which is $9.
That's a
Okay.
which is a great price for a
Right.
cigar of that quality. It's
You
a
could
great
actually
price.
also find it at martles.com, at martlescigars.com. And so online if you want to buy
And
them.
what's the
Right.
price range of cigars? Are there $100 cigars or $2
So,
cigars?
for example, this box it retails for $12.99 a stick. This is a torpedo box
Yep.
right here, right? And it retails, I believe, 13 times. Probably they'll drop $1, so like 12 times 21 cigars because they have 21 in the box.
That's
21 plus
12.
12.
so it's like 150, 100, no more.
No, that's more. So we're talking about almost $280.
Yeah, it's about $280, yeah.
Because don't forget the California taxes.
Yeah.
How many?
Not free, folks.
It ain't free.
How many cigars are in the box?
21 cigars.
21 cigars.
21 cigars. So it's pretty cool, though.
Well, I'm saying, and if I was going to go out and sample at all these cigar stores, are there really exotic, expensive cigars? Like, I guess you can't get Cubans, but whatever is
Oh, yeah,
considered top.
there's more expensive cigars. I mean, my cigars are premium cigars in the mid-level, but you got cigars like the Fuentes or Opus X, which you go
Oh.
$20 and up.
Easy.
And then, you got the Padron 1926, also $20 and up.
And to be honest,
Yeah.
it's the same as with alcohol or whiskey and scotch. It's the same as with wine.
Absolutely.
Wine, yeah.
It for the person who is sort of a genuine lover of cigars. It's the same thing as somebody who's really a lover of wine. It's not so much the price, and in many cases you are on the quest for that great cigar that's still not discovered, that's really,
Right.
accessible, basically, right? Because again, it's not something that it's one thing if you're the person who's going to like save a bottle of wine or a cigar for 20 years and then basically open it on a special occasion. But if you're a person that's actually a smoker or a drinker of wine, you can't basically have $200 bottles of wine every meal that you have. Like you can, but it's like at some point that becomes like, okay, now what else?
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Right.
Like if I'm smoking a particular cigar at $20, $30 a pop, it's like, okay, what else?
If you have a humidor in the right conditions, can you store these for years like you can a bottle of wine, or do they go bad after a while?
No, if you age them properly, if you put them with the right humidor, with the right humidification.
It can't get dry.
And
It's
is
gotta
it
be humid.
for those who
you
don't
could-
know, is it a set humidification or is it vary?
Well, it has to be a set anywhere between 65 and 72.
Right.
But also, people like to do it differently. Oh, I like my cigars at 68. Oh, I like my cigars at 69 or 72.
Right.
So it all depends how you do it. But if you keep them the humidification the right way, you could age the cigars up to 10 years.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Yeah.
And humidity
if you
means-
don't,
I mean, more than 10 years.
yeah,
Absolutely.
and if you don't, you ruin them.
I mean, look, and they're selling. I seen online that there's a box of I think Partagas cigars from Cuba from back in 50, 60 years ago, pre-embargo,
Yeah.
and they're selling them for $100,000 or
$100,000.
And then there's another box selling for $300,000. I mean, this is a store in Europe somewhere, right? But
Yeah.
but they're very well preservative.
Yeah.
The cigars
Well preserved.
Absolutely. So can you age cigars? Absolutely.
And if you're spending $100,000 on cigars, are you going to smoke them or are you going to keep them as a collection?
Probably
like
just as a collection,
but
yeah.
my point is,
That's
like
what
it is a
Might as
collection.
well smoke one, right?
Well, I would, right? But
Saludos, Facebook. How my people doing on Facebook, Instagram? How you guys doing?
oh, he's got two phones.
He's
He's
going
got two
double
phones
duty
going,
here, yeah.
and we got it on YouTube too.
That's right.
So Art, let's talk about what's coming up in January.
Oh,
Yes.
I'm very excited. I'm very excited what's going on. So we are hosting a tour.
I told him, I said, you're not going to talk about this until we get on the show. So here we are.
There we are.
So there you go,
Let's
buddy.
do this.
You got a mic? Tell them about
That's right.
Tell them about the
Man,
tour.
we're hosting a tour. It's called Escape to Paradise. Man, this is a tour that's been going on for years. We've been planning.
The underlying statement is, we don't ask and we do not tell.
And we do not tell. Exactly.
Well, that's why it's paradise.
What goes in Nicaragua stays in
Stays in
Nicaragua. So we're inviting everybody to come out here with us and smoke unlimited cigars, drink unlimited rum, have the best beer in Nicaragua, which is called Toña, and eat some of the best gallo pinto and cheese and asados. And
What's gallo pinto? I don't know.
gallo pinto is rice with beans mixed together.
Okay.
It's awesome.
So you get to sample the food,
All that
enjoy
good
the
stuff.
beer, enjoy the cigars.
Absolutely.
They make some world-class rums there. I know
They
they really
enjoy
do.
the rum.
In Flor de Caña. Yep. Now, our tour is not your typical tour like some cigar factories out there, but we're going to take you, not only are we going to go to spend time in Esteli and go some factories, go some tobacco fields, and you're going to get to see everything. You're going to get to explore how we make cigars the right way, the real way, right? But you're going to get to travel. So Art Garcia is going to take you guys personally. I'm going to be hanging out with you guys, and we're going to go to my favorite island in Nicaragua, which is called Ometepe Island.
Okay.
We're going to spend a beautiful day there, and then not only that, but we're also going to go to a beautiful town called Granada,
Okay.
which they have the most amazing churches and buildings
Yeah.
that it was made by the Spaniards back in the days.
1600s. Yeah.
That's right. So you're going to get to enjoy that beautiful stuff in the country, and then we're going to finish up our night. Our days actually. I think 1 or 2 days we're gonna be at the best beaches of Nicaragua. It's called San Juan del Sur. We're gonna get some beautiful houses out there, overseeing the ocean. You go walking minutes to the ocean, right? And we're gonna have chefs. We're gonna have cooks. We're gonna have people taking care of us. All we gotta do is smoke cigars, drink rum, and have good conversations.
How can people find out more about this?
Oh man! So right now we're working through the website right now, so that way you guys can go on tour. But for right now, you guys could send me a message direct. So you
How
can
do they
find
get
me.
hold
You
of
can
you?
find me at info@antiguaesteli.com. Let me go ahead and say that again. Info@ANTIGUA Esteli.com, and we're working through our travel agent, which is going to be our travel agent. He's going to take care of all the details for you guys, which is going to be awesome, right?
How many?
But Art, I can't afford this. It's going to be $100,000 or something. I can't afford to be with Art and unlimited cigars, unlimited rum, and all these places.
Do you have a price on this?
I can't afford it, Art.
Yes.
Do you have a price yet?
We are charging. It's going to be a very small fee. You guys could afford it. It's going to be pennies on the dollar.
Give me a rough idea.
We're charging right about anywhere between I think $2,300 to $2,500.
Oh, come on!
For how long?
7 nights.
Is that airfare and everything else?
No. So we're gonna only cover when you get to Nicaragua. We pick you up.
Got it.
Transportation, your lodging, hotels, and it's gonna be nice hotels.
But you got to get there on your own.
But you got to get there on your own. Yes.
Which is not unusual. A lot of these tours basically do that.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's for 7 days.
And then we drop you off back to the airport.
Yeah, for 7 days and all of that. That's not a bad deal at all. And is it limited? How many people are you looking to take?
We're looking
what's your limit? Or how many people can Art handle touring through Nicaragua?
2 or 3.
So no. We're planning to take anywhere between 20 to 30 people.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
So 20 to 30 people,
Yeah.
but at those rates. And at that kind of a program, it'll sell out.
And who typically
So
comes? Is it young guys, cool guys who want to live the life, or is it old FARTs like me, old farts that appreciate all this stuff? I mean, who turns up? It's got to be all guys.
It doesn't matter your age or who you are or your ethnic or if you're a male or a female.
Really? So would you get women to come out?
Yeah,
yeah.
couples come. Couples. Bring your wife, your sister.
Sisters of the Leaf.
But just make sure they smoke cigars because there's going to be a lot of cigar smoking.
It is sisters
of the Leaf. Yeah, of
That's a
course.
hashtag.
There you go.
I keep telling people it's not just guys that smoke cigars.
Because you picture this to just be a bunch of old guys smoking cigars.
Nope.
And last question, and I'll shut up here.
No, I love your question.
I don't know much about cigar culture. I know John Dade and Rod and others who wax eloquently about cigars and love them and enjoy them and everything,
Right.
and it fits in with that same love of fine wines and fine tequilas and fine scotches and rums and all that. I get all that. What I don't know is it's still something that my 20-something, 28-year-old grandson is attracted to, or is it an era that has passed? I mean, do people still...
Are you talking about, do young people smoke cigars?
Yeah, in the same way that you
Absolutely.
guys do.
Yes, absolutely.
We have new millenniums.
Because some of those things are I don't know if they're still as popular as they once were.
I would actually venture a guess, and Art, maybe see if you agree with me. I think today there's so much information on cigars that when I was growing up, was not there. It was more mouth to mouth. You were told about
Somebody
it.
brought you in.
It was
and,
a bonding, sharing experience, right? Very similar to
Same thing with scotches and
well,
stuff.
same thing like when you learn how to shave, for example, right? Well, no, right? And that's a whole total topic
It's
there
a
because
tradition
it's
and-
amazing how many people don't know how to shave correctly because that wasn't passed on.
I don't know how to. I just get a razor and cut it. There was nothing
it's
ever
really
passed
amazing.
on.
'Cause did your dad ever teach you how to shave?
No.
Yeah, me and mine neither. It's kind of funny. It's like this nostalgic, Hallmark card about the father teaching the son how to shave, and it's like, yeah, right,
No,
that didn't happen, right? But that being said,
My dad didn't pass any of this down. He even though he liked fine clothes and he liked good liquors, he never passed any of that on to me. I had to go rediscover that myself in my 20s and decide what I wanted to do.
I just think there's a lot of information for somebody who's young, who's interested in that. There's a lot of information out there now, and a lot of places where you can get guided.
Yes.
A lot of great magazines out there.
Great magazines out
that
there.
Cigar
basic-
Aficionado right
Well,
here.
there
in,
is. There's also
Cigars and Spirits magazine.
Cigars and Spirits.
Cigar Journal,
Cigar
Tobacco
Journals,
Business Magazine.
Exactly.
You guys could actually find my article if you go on Google Art Garcia Tobacco Business Magazine, and a big article comes out about me. Check it out. You could also find us online. Just Google Antigua Esteli Cigars, and a whole trajectory of Antigua will come out. I mean, articles, magazines, all kinds of stuff.
There's a lot of stuff on art online. There's videos as well. This one will be one of them that we're doing now. But when is the tour?
Hold on. So before we get to the tour, I got a question here from one of the followers.
Yeah, right.
He says, "Do we get free 10 boxes?"
That's not our friend from the Center Club.
No. So to answer your question, everybody who comes to our tour gets unlimited cigars. So if you could smoke 10 boxes when you're in Nicaragua with us,
But you can't take them
but
with
you can't take them.
Right.
Got it.
You can smoke as many as you
I
can.
mean, we are going
All
to give
you
you
can eat. Yeah, right.
Yeah, we are going to give you a bag full of cigars, right? And also the factories who are collaborating with us for the tour, they're also going to give away their cigars so that way you guys can smoke their stuff too.
How many cigars can you smoke? I mean, do you get sick if if I drank 8 scotches or 20 scotches, I'd get sick.
Well, I tell you, when I'm in
you're a recovering Catholic Irish boy from the Midwest, so your tolerance
a little higher.
to Scotch, who used to be in the bar business,
Yeah.
so your tolerance is probably a little higher than
different.
somebody who's not. So
Probably.
I don't think that.
But I'm
there's
just
a
saying,
general law.
I don't think, I guess you would get sick if you smoked too many cigars. Just drinking, obviously, I understand, because a citizen can only take so much alcohol. What is it that you're inhaling?
I don't know, Art. Is there a limit to how many cigars?
Would you
can
get
smoke
sick
during
if you
the course
smoked
of a day?
20
Look,
cigars?
I tell you what, I've been making cigars for all these years now, right?
How often do you smoke?
When I'm in Nicaragua, I smoke a lot of cigars because I have to be testing different blends. I have, we barely came out with our first blend, right? But I have over 100 blends that I already have ready for the next few years. So we're going to be releasing cigars after cigars after cigars.
Yeah, you already have your blends,
right? But for me to make those blends, I had to smoke a lot of tobacco.
So what would you smoke on a tour? What do you think? How many cigars are you going to go through? You're
on the tour with everyone else, we'll probably go over 4, 5, 6 cigars a day.
And on like here,
on my personal, I only smoke 1 cigar a day.
Okay.
Or once every other day.
One every other day. Okay, so that answers your question.
Okay, yeah, I'm just trying to get some idea.
So I know we're almost out of time.
Yeah,
but
don't worry.
let's give people a little bit more information about
Right,
the
absolutely.
tour. When are the days of the tour?
Okay, so we're going to do it 7 days before the actual cigar festival going on in Nicaragua, which is called Puro Sabor, which is made by the by the Association of Tobacco in Nicaragua, right? It's called Puro Sabor, and they're making a big cigar festival where they're going to open the doors to a lot of cigar factories, aside from the ones we're going to.
Yeah.
Right, and so I'm very excited about that.
So your 7 days is before the actual
leads up to it.
So we're gonna go for 7 days to our tour, and then if they want to stay a little extra for the festival, which the festival is an extra 5 days.
Okay.
But that's an extra expense. They'll be on their own, right?
Right.
And what time of year is this?
So it's gonna be the festival starts on the 20th of January.
Yeah.
So we're gonna start 7 days before,
So that'd be the
Mid-January,
13th.
somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's the 13th of
Absolutely.
January, mid-January, and then you can stay on for the festival that takes place after. So you get to spend a week with Art, and then you can basically.
So this
be
has
on
got
your
to close out pretty quickly, I would think, in the next couple of weeks.
The next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Yes.
So anyway, again, give people the information where they can get hold of you, Art.
Yep. So you guys could call us at our office, 714-941-8490. But if you're a serious candidate that want to go, call me direct, 305-619-7164.
That number, once again, is
305-619-7164.
And the email?
Email is info@antiguaesteli.com.
Let's spell it one more time.
INFO.
INFO.
Oh, come on.
INFO. Okay.
INFO
at
ANTIGUAESTELI.com.
Okay.
But you could also find us on Instagram.
Yeah, you're on Instagram, you're on
Esteli
Facebook.
Cigars, Facebook.
Yeah.
And so just make sure, even if you don't go to the tour, just give us a like or a follow.
Yeah, and definitely check out his cigars at the locations here in Orange County. It's everywhere, but you look him up on social media. There's a lot of information about Art on the internet, and if you can make it to this tour, I'm going to definitely try to go on this tour.
Absolutely.
In
We wanna
January.
see you there.
I got a
Absolutely.
birthday coming up right about the time when the actual so
there you
we're
go.
going to line it up.
Can I just say something as a non-cigar
Well,
smoker? This
let-
was a
yes.
delight having you here today.
Hey, thank you. It
I
was my
learned a
pleasure.
lot about cigars, about where they come from and what goes into it, and I think I have some sense of the appreciation that you both have for this cigar.
Thank you, brother.
It really is. It's
We might
it's-
even get him to light one up.
it's-
so-
Hey, he needs to light up a cigar now.
Yeah.
It's the Raad Life, only out there living the good life.
And we are going to talk, and we will see. We'll get you more information about the tour on the Raad Life Facebook page.
Yes.
And we'll put some details on there as well, some of the stuff that Art followed up.
Absolutely.
So please follow us there, because there may be a little bit more additional information that I'm going to keep to myself for right now that we will share on the Facebook page.
You got it, brother. All right. Well, thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you
Art,
very
for
much
being
for
here.
having me, Rod.
Pleasure. Sorry,
Thank you very much.
Sorry we couldn't smoke them in here. That's the only
Oh,
problem,
man,
right?
Can't do it
in
Let me
here,
hand me
no.
your cigar for a second.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Go get one of these. I know I'm going to light one of these up this afternoon.
right,
And
absolutely.
Rain or shine, it doesn't matter. I'm going to sing outside Smoke
So once again, you can find our cigars in Orange County. You can find them at High Times here in Costa Mesa.
On 17th.
On 17 OC Cigars, Orange County Cigar Lounge.
Yep.
Off the 55
Off the
freeway.
55.
You can find it also at Tinderbox here in South Coast
One of
Plaza.
the only remaining tinder
The only
boxes
tinder
in the
boxes
country.
here in the country. Also, you can find them at Vintage Cigars here with Robbie. So make sure you go scoop our cigars.
And
Absolutely.
show Art some love
Thank you,
on
man.
social media.
I appreciate it.
Thanks,
Thank you,
everybody.
guys. Big love.
See you next week.
You have been listening to the Raad Life radio show with your host and age explorer, Rad Gantos, brought to you on the one and only octalkradio.net. Join us again next week as we continue our journey of discovery into life's challenges, opportunities, options, and all the latest and greatest things that come with getting older.